Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Ji ayanu. Khushamdeed. Goeiemorgen.
Bakhair agale, ni hao, chune shumme, washmale, ohai, genzaimes, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifahal, hale shama chatore, ahlan wasalan marhaba, kaifahal, buna, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning. Alongside the very amazing, the very talented Shahzad Khan and Shiza Hashmi. Hello Shiza, how are you today?
I am great. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. You know, it feels always nice to have complimented your own self.
You know, I don't feel it. I don't think it does. I should compliment you next time so that you can get done with it.
So why do we even have to wait for the next time? Let's do it right now.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching World this morning with Shiza Hashmi alongside the very amazing, the very talented Shahzad Khan.
Oh, it feels so great. Well, that's perfect. So Shiza, today is a very important day because of the fact that the topic we've picked up on, and I think that people who are actually going to represent or whatever we're going to ask, ladies and gentlemen, what we have done is that the representation will actually be from the government side and then from the private stakeholders too as well.
So it's sort of a one-on-one. So, they're probably going to talk about the issues that they might face or their plans and objectives. And the government side is then going to answer them and facilitate them in every possible way.
But before we do that, we do have a public service message. And the public service message, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously in line with that we want all of you to be healthy, fit and wealthy too as well at the same time. But as a matter of fact, so last night what happened was that since everybody knows now that I'm a bike enthusiast, so I went out on my bike just for a ride late night.
Okay.
And as soon as I was on the Magla Road, I realized that, it was colder than usual.
Okay.
So what happened was that I just took a U-turn, got back home, and I realized that, probably a hoodie or a jacket will do now. So I felt that the weather's changing. And whenever the weather's changing, it's always necessary that I'm going to catch a flu as well, and which is why I cannot hear from my right ear, and my guests are on my right-hand side too as well. So we'll definitely struggle with that, but please make sure that you look after yourselves. It's always necessary. It is imperative for your health because the weather's changing and quite a lot of people, get sick because of the virals which are out there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we move on to what we're actually going to discuss in the show, I think it's time to take a look at the top stories for this hour.
Let's do it. Let's take a look.
Prime Minister Imran Khan leaves for Saudi Arabia today on a two-day official visit to hold bilateral talks with the Saudi king and the Crown Prince.
Wow. So first, international official visit, that to Saudi Arabia, might be of great importance. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, Afghanistan thrashed Sri Lanka by 91 runs in Asia Cup. And this is the news though. Pakistan to face arch rival India tomorrow. All the best, Pakistan. Bleed green.
It's coming home,
I hope so. So, we won Champions Trophy as well. And before the last one, I think we won the Asia Cup too as well. And Pakistan teams looks in great shape as well. But I think people need to focus on Afghanistan as well because last night they did so well that nobody was actually expecting that this is going to happen. And Rashid Ali from Afghanistan is doing a great job.
Wow. Okay, that's great. But I do have great hopes for the Pakistani team. We all do. We're proud of you and we support you totally. But that was on the other note, we love cricket, so we just don't miss any chance to talk about it. So basically, what we are talking about it today. Before that, the new government has actually opened new vistas for the foreigners to come in and invest in Pakistan. They're trying to and planning on making Pakistan a safer place for foreign investments, as I just said, so that obviously the people of Pakistan can benefit from all these ventures and it adds to the economy as well.
Exactly. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have certainly been joined by a gentleman who actually came to Pakistan just because of the fact that our Prime Minister, our Premier Imran Khan actually said that we want help from people from all around the globe as well. So he came down to Pakistan to actually check whether the business ecosystem is at par with the international standards or not, because they started investing within the system. But you can only invest within the system when the system allows you to do so. So what we have done today is that we're going to talk about health and education because of this initiative which they came up with, which is with the name of Doctrine 2 as well. So what happened was we're definitely going to ask about this business plan, what does it do, and what kind of services were they being provided by the government side too as well. So it's more of a public and private partnership. Is it going to work or not? This is something which we're going going to ask, and how far can we go within these partnerships as well. So on my right-hand side, to answer all of our inquisitive questions, I've been joined by somebody who's a health services designer as well. He's been all over the globe, and he was the one who I was actually talking about, that he came to Pakistan to check the business ecosystem as well. We're going to ask him whether he thinks that, you know, it's going to be a sustainable business development system or not. So on my right-hand side, I've been joined by Mike Levine. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Very good this morning. Thanks.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Assalamu alaikum. And alongside Mike, we have been joined by somebody who is actually the CEO of Doctory as well. She's a social entrepreneur, and she's none other than Miss Maliha Khalid. Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for asking. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, I think his job is very tough today, because he's the one who will be answering quite a lot of other questions, which Mike and Maliha even wanted to ask. So last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by Senior Vice President PTI North as well, Major Retired Khurram Hamid Rokhri. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's great to have you guys over here. So first things first, Shiza, do you want to start, or would you let me start?
I mean, you should start, but I think I should start as well. But this is like a very basic question. So I want Mike to answer this, that, okay, it's great that he's coming to Pakistan with an idea, with an objective to implement.
Yeah.
But why at this time? So you know about Pakistan a lot, right? I'm pretty sure you've been studying about it as well. So why did you think this was the appropriate time for you to come in, you know, check out the ecosystem of the businesses and everything, and then invest?
Well, the initial reason was because of the invitation from Imran Khan and the new administration. And I was interested. I also know and have friends who have Pakistani heritage as well. And so it was always been curious and have been learning about the history of Pakistan as well. But I met Maliha, the CEO of Doctory, in Berlin. And I was very inspired by her vision. And that's actually what made the decision for me to come here and learn more about the ecosystem here.
So when Maliha shared her idea with you, were you guys like on the same page? Were you resonating over it?
Yeah, immediately. Yeah, I've been focusing my work on social entrepreneurship for quite a while. It's been a shift that I made about 8 years ago. And when Maliha was introducing her vision about trying to create a system that equalizes healthcare, makes high quality healthcare accessible to everybody in Pakistan, for me that was an immediate, very inspiring.
So I think this is one thing which we need to ask Maliha as well, that what is Doctory itself and how does it function?
So, Doctory and the vision for Doctory is creating quality healthcare for everyone in Pakistan, regardless of your socioeconomic background or your geographical location. Wherever you are, healthcare is something that you are going to find, and it will be accessible. And so how is it accessible is something that we are working on, me and Mike together. He's a product designer, and that's where our partnership is, and that's where we are working together. And one of the ways that we have started working on this initiative is by doing some very basic research on the grassroots level to see what are the existing gaps in the system, what is a common man in Pakistan facing in the urban, in the peri-urban and the rural areas, and then take it from there and see how can we, provide services.
So I think today we've got the
criteria.
perfect chance to ask you whether are there gaps existing within all of those tiers or not. So let's talk about those gaps, and what did you guys found out after all of that extensive research which went into it?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a question that I would also like Mike to answer, because he has been experiencing this research from a different perspective. So do you want to take a lead?
Yeah, so I've done work in healthcare in the US and also in Europe, and coming to then Pakistan with fresh eyes and letting go of any preconceptions that I may have had. We've talked to people from every different socioeconomic background, and finding that there's obviously the multiple systems that exist for healthcare, public and private, and the public system is accessible, more accessible, but it's also overburdened. And so there is also very high quality private healthcare, and that's a gap. So the more expensive and the more high quality that the private system develops into, the less accessible it is to the common man.
All right, so I think what we are going to do is that we are actually going to ask Mir Sahib over here whether they have put in that research with which we can actually help people within the rural areas or the urban areas or wherever healthcare or education is not accessible. So, sir, what about your own ground research?
Actually, Mike is here because of a reason he started when. He said that Imran Khan is here and on invitation of this. We have done one basic thing for the last 23 years Imran Khan has been doing. Focusing on one thing, and that is that the major asset, the most important asset is our population, our common people.
Exactly.
90% plus they are deprived of their basic human rights. Health is one of the basic things. And we are focusing on building up the system, upgradation of the system, and we want to ensure that when Mike comes or anyone comes, the basic rights, the basic health issues of a common person or a person who is sitting in a higher seat, they are treated equally.
Yeah.
Right.
So our main asset is our population. We want to give proper honor to them. We want to make them feel that they are the most precious thing. This is our agenda. This is Ike's vision. This is how he's working on it.
Okay, that's great. And, I'm actually going to take out a minute as well to talk about that because, after, when he actually took oath as a premier and he came on television, I think he was the first ever leader within the history of Pakistan who talked about street children and orphans too as well. That's great. And it feels great too as well. But now I think that we actually need to formalize a system where people like Mike who are coming down to Pakistan, I mean, he was lucky enough that he actually was in contact with Maliha.
Yeah.
But how do you think that all of those people who are going to follow that stream, come down to Pakistan, will be in contact with people who have such amazing ideas? Do we have a platform of that sort?
Of course. When the environments are safe, when they come down and they can reach to a place easily, and when they want to exert anything, Mike is here and he wants to progress with anything and he is doing it, and when he goes back and he is comfortable that whatever he did, at least 80% out or 60% out, he has achieved the results.
Yeah.
So Mike will go comfortable. Mike will come back again to the Pakistan. So many people have been coming. So many NGOs, Mike, have been coming to Pakistan. But at the end, everything was wasted because the common people, the population, all the people, they were not the target. Only few people were the target. Islamabad was the
Yes.
target. Maybe the big city was the target. They were coming, they were doing things and going back.
Yeah.
We want you to go to the people. Our people are those who need you. And what they need is, what I was talking to Mike as well, what they need is the education, quality of life. Imran Khan is basically focusing on quality of life.
Exactly.
The children, when we see the children, they are on the roads asking for money.
Right.
Women dying because of very common diseases. They are not even able to, there are no diagnostic center at the moment with us.
Right.
We are wasting money into the places where it is not required. And the most precious asset is the human. So what we are focusing is that we are giving the most important role to every person in the society.
Right.
Indeed.
Imran Khan is making, by his own self, for the last few days you see, the efforts which he has done, he is trying to convince everyone that I am as like you are. He is trying to give everything to every person what he has.
Exactly.
So we have to be alike. No one is special. No one is something big. We have to be on equal level, and that's how Mike will feel comfortable. That's how other when they will come to Pakistan, they will feel comfortable and safety. And one thing, the most important thing, I was telling Mike, we have been fighting other people's war too much.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Pakistan is not at all a hostile territory. Pakistan is a very friendly country.
Right.
And
you can take a look at us.
the concept, unfortunately, everybody there, they think that when we land in Pakistan, there is going to be a trouble. No, we are not trouble. We are a peaceful nation. We want to bring peace to the region.
Well, I hope he has observed that.
Yeah.
Yes, and we want to live in peace.
Indeed,
We
that's
want to
what we
live in
want.
peace. We want our population to live in
Yes.
peace.
Well, that's great. Thank you for saying that, sir. But this brings me back to Maliha and Mike over here. So I'll be honest, when we talk about basic healthcare, I'm not talking about the private sector because that is,
Yeah.
let's face it, for the elite only.
Absolutely.
But when you talk about the public sector, there are BHUs, there are hospitals on district level as well, on a tertiary level as well. So what they are doing is, the problem, let's say, with them is they do have all the facilities and everything. They're spending more and more on equipment and, you know, stuff and people, recruiting more people. What they're not focusing on is the quality of services that they're providing.
Yeah.
So that is one of the loopholes that you guys will be facing. Are you focusing on that?
So this is something that we came across even in the research that we are doing right now. And just to add to Major Saab's point further, for the longest time period, the plight of the Pakistani people have been that there has been a trust deficit between
Right,
the
right.
people and the public facilities or the government in general.
Absolutely.
And so whosoever has a bit of money prefers going to private facilities, no matter
Absolutely.
whether for education or for healthcare, wherever, right? So even while doing our research, we found out it was near Texila and the VA area. Whosoever had just little money would always prefer going to private care facilities, even if it's going to take them down a poverty trap
right.
or is going to add to their own family
So, you know, I'm
dynamics.
sorry to cut you out, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but you know, I know people from villages, from my village as well, who actually, women who got pregnant or who have any disease, even appendicitis or anything. So when they need to get treated, they are going to use all the savings of their life to go to a better
Exactly.
hospital to get treated.
Absolutely.
So what happens after that? Why can't they make the public, you know, facilities so accessible to them? And actually, you know, quality-wise good as well, so they didn't have to spend a lot and be, you know, have equal healthcare facilities as normal people do.
Yeah, so I think there's a lack of education as well in terms of what is the public facility actually offering and how good it is, and that's basically because of the trust deficit that I was
Right,
just talking
right.
about. So one actor in this entire healthcare system that we saw on the front lines was the lady health worker, and she does a tremendous job at
Yeah,
educating the women as well as the children. She's always there. She's that one trusted member of the community that anybody can go to, no matter like what kind of a healthcare problem or at what time do you face that, right?
Okay.
And so they're actually playing a very important role.
Right, absolutely.
But we need to support them and equip them with the best solutions so that their role can be further, you know, enhanced, and they can provide the service that they are working on a bigger
that's
impact.
correct, and I slightly agree to that as well. But Mike, there's this one thing which bugs me quite a lot, and that is that, you know, even if it's a public-private partnership, everybody's thriving to do the best for people out there as well. There's one thing which you might have realized, that it's hard to change the mindset of Pakistani people as well. Because I'm going to give an example of NHS from England as well. You know, people over there, you know, because it's a welfare state, people go to the doctors, it's for free as well. But it takes 6 months and 8 months to get to their appointment as well. So there's a delay. What happens over here in Pakistan is that people are so eager that, God forbid, even if it's flu, I don't know what's going to happen to me or to her or to anybody else. Now, how do we change the mindsets over here within this country? And the only reason why I'm asking you this is that you've got a global experience. How do people do it over there?
Yeah.
Through education and communication. Our other co-founder, Ayaz, was describing a education tsunami to help educate people about how to do preventative care for themselves. And I feel like there's also a really need to improve the diagnostic, to get people an accurate diagnosis about their medical condition as early as possible.
Yeah.
And when people have access to somebody that they trust, to give them good information and to give them a diagnosis about their condition, it reduces a lot of waste. We see people going into multiple specialists in search of a diagnosis, when a general practitioner, if that general practitioner had the time and the education to provide a good, solid diagnosis on the first try, people would be cured faster, and they would waste a lot less time, and if they go to private, they would waste a lot less money on getting that diagnosis and treatment.
That's correct too as well, which is why Mir Saab now, for example, I've been to quite a lot of public hospitals over here, unfortunately, because we fall sick quite a lot. We do not have access to clean drinking water.
Yeah,
Half of the population is malnourished. These are the issues, I think, which we should be investing in our time and money and everything. And I know for sure that the facilities of the diagnostic facilities, they're like 1 or 2 MRI machines probably. You know, there's no laboratory within the public health institutions as well. We have to go outside, get our test done. So thinking about that within urban areas, how do you think that we can actually be the caretakers of women's rights and women healthcare in rural areas?
Basic thing we have to understand, that when the
I see that smile over there.
population was increasing,
Yeah.
we were not upgrading ourselves.
Yeah.
We were upgrading in one aspect, and that was corruption. We were making people insecure, and everybody in Pakistan was thinking of making big money because of what? Because of this, that they were making money, that I should have this much money. Something happens with me, I should be able to go to doctor because I need money. There were no hospitals, there were no medicines, there was no check and balance, there was no governance. Because of all these things, the trust, the element of trust, that was not there. So what happened, that when something is happening, first of all, people are not educated, they don't even know that what is the issue with them. There are no diagnostic centers.
Yeah.
In rural areas you go, there are no incubators for the children. If you will weep, I tell you, this is the life which we are living here. When you go to them and when you see the sufferings of the common people, the women, you will be astonished how they are living their lives.
Yeah.
So the corruption was the basic cause. Unfortunately, Mike is here, but the corruption is such a big cause of our
yeah.
country. With all the best assets we had, with all the best people we had, we made them focus on one thing, that you have to make money to live sound and safe here.
Yeah.
So everybody was running for that.
Right.
Because he was not secure, she was not secure. They were thinking that they need money for the security of themselves. So this was the thing. Second thing you said, that we run to the doctor because of a minor thing. Exactly, because of education. But I say that the doctors are not telling the patients, and the patients are not knowing that they go to the doctor at the last stage.
Yeah.
Right, right.
They are not running, Mike, on the
Absolutely.
first. They are going to the last stage. A woman will go to the doctor, and when the doctor is going to do the test, he will know that she has come to him at a last stage.
Yeah.
No diagnostic center, no proper way of knowing what is happening to the
Yeah.
woman.
So no self-diagnosis, basically,
Yes,
which is because of
because of
education.
less education.
Right, absolutely.
For the last 35 years, we were supposed to put our budget money maximum into the education.
Right,
You
right.
take
But we
out the
do have
budget.
so many home remedies as well. You know, mothers jump in as well. Or, you know, son, what you can do is probably have a little bit of citrus, do
Or
this,
drink
and do
haldi
that.
with doodh
So
and
everybody
everything.
becomes a doctor over here.
Yes, that's
So
it.
how do we plan on educating these people?
We are doing it. We are doing it because we are focusing on it. Now we know this is our issue. When I know this is our issue, when I know that this is I have to focus, I will focus on this. Our priority is education.
Yeah.
Our priority is enlightening the people, knowing what they are living. Our priority is that they are important. Our priority is that life is important.
Okay.
We want to take them, we want to make them equal to the rest of the nations. Imran Khan is thinking that every citizen of Pakistan is most precious to him, and Imran Khan is making sure that he looks like them,
Right.
he lives like them, and he is trying to tell them that, look, I will make sure that all the rights which you have, they will reach you.
It is related.
Okay.
Yes, that is
right.
the thing. So I am hopeful. So are rest of the people, and that's why he is here.
Right, so I'll be
Absolutely.
honest, you know, it's great that you guys are actually attracting all the foreign investments and everything, because definitely we want this to happen for the betterment of Pakistan. But let's, you know, talk about something real over here. I know your vision is great, but in terms of the future, where do you honestly see Pakistan in the 5 to 10 years in terms of public healthcare? You know, do you think it's going to improve a little bit more than it already is? Do you think we are going to overcome the faults and the loopholes that we already found out that they exist? But I'm going to give you a minute or two to think about that. We're going out to a short break. And stay tuned to PTV World, because we'll be shortly back. Good morning.
Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PT Wall, you watch Wall this morning alongside the very amazing Shiza Hashmi and Shazad Khan. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in conversation with with people from different walks of life, people who are not from Pakistan, people who are from Pakistan, and people who represent Pakistan, who represent us, who represent the entire nation as well. But we are generally talking about healthcare and education and how the newer government is actually going to provide services which are very imperative for the private partnerships to actually work and invest their money on as well. So before heading out towards the break, Shiza actually asked a very different question, which was that, after 5 or 10 years, where do you think that, all of these sectors or the industries are going to head on to? And before we move on to Major Saab, we gave Major Saab time, a minute or 2 minutes to think about it. We want to ask Mike over here and Malia over here whether they have highlighted a few areas where they think that a lot of investment needs to be done in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of, bonding as well, because we need to be together on that.
Well, in terms of the next 5 to 10 years, even thinking about investment, obviously there's a lot of investment in wireless infrastructure in the country, right? Things like 4G. And that has what we call leapfrogged the old infrastructure, which would be telephone lines, because it's too expensive, it's difficult to do. In the same way, for healthcare, there are certain ways of approaching healthcare that can avoid costly infrastructure investments and make best use of investments, smaller investments in different areas, and connecting people with that via digital technologies. And so I think that taking a more strategic approach to where to invest and how to invest in, like diagnostic infrastructure, and how to give access to expertise, for example, like a diagnosis over a phone call, over a video call, and not just replicating the systems that have been successful in the past, but looking for what innovations have occurred in technology and networking, and really leveraging those for the best outcome. And that's what I think is the investment that should be made very early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to follow on to that, I think the cost of healthcare needs to be reduced, and using these technologies does that tremendously for a common Pakistani. Because the cost of healthcare itself, like a diagnosis, is one thing, but as a common Pakistani, I have to go through 5 different diagnoses before getting to the 6th right diagnosis, right? So that hidden cost really shots up the entire economic cost of accessing healthcare. And it was in the news over the weekend, the Chief Justice had taken an action over somebody who was given a $40,000 bill at a private hospital in Lahore. And so it's seriously, I mean, it's huge,
But
tremendous.
it's just it's almost the same in US too as well, because one day my daughter, she actually started bleeding from her nose, and I had to rush to the hospital. They almost charged me $1,600 just for nothing.
Wow.
So but we're not talking about US over here. But there's one more thing, sir, which struck to my head. So almost 10 years back or 8 years back, my father went to Gilgit, Skardu, and all of these areas as well, and you representing PTI and all too as well. He actually fell and he broke his knee. And there was no hospital who could actually give him the facilitation of actually being over there. So he was with a broken leg, he had to get a charter flight, come down to Islamabad to get himself treated. So what kind of education or healthcare system are we even talking about if the hospitals do not even have the facility to make sure that the person is not in pain, not just treating it, but not in pain?
Basic health units. Basic health units, they exist. The doctor is not going.
But that's basic.
Yes, they exist. But the doctor is not going there. The pays are not as per they should be. The facilities for the ladies, if a lady doctor is to be posted, she needs some facilities. That's our culture as well. Because of the political designs that no doctor is ready to go from one place to another. There were so many things. And the basic thing that the government itself was not, they were never properly taking care of the things. They were not focusing on these things, that your father is an important person, something has happened to him, and what will you do? You have to find a CMH in the local area. Why?
I mean, this is a question we are asking
Yes,
you.
exactly. Because why? Because human was not considered as the most important or precious asset of this country.
Right.
I always say that the effects of colonialism, they were so much on this region, and we were not able to get rid of that, that we were always treating our people, as the deputy commissioner is sitting in such a huge mansion, he is considering himself a lord and rest of the people as his slaves.
Right.
So this was the issue. This issue still exists. We are trying to break this ice.
Yeah.
We are trying that every citizen of Pakistan has got the right that he can go, she can go to the governor house. No
But look what they
problem. No
did.
problem. They went
Look
and they
what they
made some
it was a
nonsense
mess.
things
They're
as well.
learning.
But that is because of the reason because they are not educated.
Right. Right.
They were deprived of these things. This was for the first time. In their own country, the people the people are very happy that we have gone to the governor house. So
Well, I've got a different opinion over here. We'll talk about that
yes,
later.
we are going to break this myth as well, and we are going to spend in health sector now. What Mike was saying, because of this technology 4G, 3G, we should make use of it. And it is not that only the Facebook and only rest of the things and propaganda. We should make use of it. And if we are able to get, we can make use of this technology and we can take it to the villages, mobile workshops. We are onto it that we will spend maximum on education, we will spend maximum on health, we will spend what our people need. We are going to give boost to the doctors, young doctors as well. Hospitals are to be upgraded. This is fixed in the mind of Imran Khan. That's what he is doing. And in health center, we are going to upgrade everything. Inshallah, you will see in the coming.
So we'll definitely. We'll
And
call
just-
him over again then.
Yeah. And just to add to the conversation that we were having earlier before the program started, that the healthcare policy would be more health-driven rather than disease-driven.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be curative. So that is one of the issues
Exactly.
in Pakistan. So there are obviously some facilities, a lot of facilities that do exist on rural and urban level as
Yeah.
well. We have talked that they're not probably available. Doctors or practitioners, anyone who's there to look after the patients. But one of the, let's say, the pattern of these institutions is that they're curative. So why do we have to wait for an emergency to actually take on all these
Very nice.
services?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so this is something that we experienced even yesterday while we were doing the research in the field. We met a husband and wife. Both were ill. The wife was diagnosed with typhoid, and the husband was suffering through fever and had body aches, but didn't really have a diagnosis at that point as yet. And we were just talking to them and asking them what facilities that they went to, how were they treated, what was the doctor's diagnosis and all. And the wife did not know that the water is the source of typhoid or pneumonia for that matter. So she contracted pneumonia last year and this year typhoid, and every year it's either typhoid or pneumonia. But nobody knows that the water is the source. And so we literally, like the entire household, we had them sit down and talk to them about they need to boil the water.
Right.
And the water source needs to be checked.
Okay, that's great. You know, this is some of the very basic and important things that
Exactly.
we're lacking behind on. But, you know, coming back to doctor over here.
Yeah.
For everyone who's watching, is it an online service that you're providing? If it is, first of all, then are you forgetting the hundreds of thousands of people who live in rural areas probably don't have access to 3G, 4G or any Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
If not so, then what other services are you providing?
So the premise is that healthcare should be available to everyone, no matter where and who you are, right? And so online services do not cater for everyone, and so definitely the service is going to be available offline on the SMS as well as the voice platforms as well, because otherwise we will not be able to reach to the millions of people
yeah,
who
but
do
like, what
not.
about physical presence?
Yes, so that's something that we are exploring. That's something me and Mike, we have been working on and materializing as the research moves forward as well.
Okay.
That, you know, having physical presence, working with the government in those areas and seeing how we can partner up. That's something that's much needed.
And I think this is
we are
where I
working
wanted
on.
to move to as well. Now, for example, yesterday we were with the Honorary Consul General of Lithuania, and he said that, you know, that the entire country is actually Wi-Fi. So, you know, which brings me down to the business's ecosystem as well, because we really need to think before we invest how supportive the system's going to be. And I think this is one sole reason, Mike, why you came down to Pakistan. So would you mind shedding a bit of light onto the business's ecosystem? Because we think as a nation that the system is quite fragile and we have to invest in it too as well.
Well, I think Pakistan is a much larger opportunity than most people would acknowledge or
Realize,
that they have a perception of. It's a very large population, fifth largest population
Right.
by
Size.
by
By
size.
right.
And that's a tremendous human resource, right? And needs to be respected
Yeah.
and cared
Absolutely.
for. So there's a tremendous opportunity here, and I see that, for example, compared to ecosystems that are more developed, like say in Germany or for the U.S., they're mostly focused on generating profit. And that's why I decided to take a turn with my career, because profit is not as interesting to me as providing as much benefit to people as possible. And here with Imran Khan's new message is, can a business thrive here that is creating a tremendous social impact?
Right.
Yeah.
And that, I think there is an opportunity here now for anyone to come, any entrepreneur to come and support, I would say, Pakistani-driven initiatives, right? Because it has to be from Pakistans for Pakistanis.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be a foreigner coming and looking to extract something out of Pakistan. You've had
Yeah.
enough of that in your history, and it should be people coming here to help provide and help build up the Pakistani economy.
Well,
and
that's
for
a
that,
great
there's
thought
boundless,
process as well.
there's boundless opportunities
Yeah,
for
but
this.
which is
Yeah.
why I'm going to move on to Major Saab now. So
Yeah.
now Major Saab, since the newer government has taken over, the entire nations have faith in them. We believe in them as well. But there needs to be a few changes which are going to help people like Mike, people like Maliha, or other people who are coming in Pakistan, or people who are within Pakistan and
Yeah.
thinking of all of these ideas. It's your responsibility to provide them with that best ecosystem so that their startups do not fail.
Right.
I again come back to one thing, that Imran Khan is,
Whatever question I ask you,
Yes.
you go to somewhere else first and then come down to the question.
because it has to be linked with
Yeah,
this.
right.
I go back to that place and then bring it to
Fine.
what you
Okay,
are asking.
okay.
Imran Khan is a person who has a mind of first wave. When Mike comes down to this place, he comes down from a country which stands in a first wave. Our people are not at the higher seats as well. Very educated people, they are not as a mindset, they are not first wave people.
Yeah.
Imran Khan is the only person coming in the government who has a mind of the first wave. He understands what the actual issues of the world are, where the world is standing, and now he is trying to make compatibility between Pakistan and rest of the world.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. Now, second thing, Imran Khan is the person who can be trusted.
Absolutely. I
Imran
trust
Khan
him.
is honest.
Yeah.
Imran Khan means what he says.
Yeah.
He is a man of discipline.
Yeah.
He is a man who has a vision. And he is in a age as well that he's not a child. He is a very mature person.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
And he is a bigger aims. He is focusing on them. And the bigger aim is that taking Pakistan out of the ditch where it stands, we give respect to the people.
So almost after how many days or years do you think we are going to see the change?
You are seeing the change. You should notice the changes. If you go to the hospital, you will find the change. But if you start noticing the changes there in every place, he started from himself, Mike.
Yeah.
He came out of that big sort of mansion. Or
That's all right. Everybody
change is
knows that.
coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Change is coming.
Yeah.
So the status quo was to be. He was to shatter that. He's given a good blow to the status quo.
Okay.
He is becoming a change himself.
Right,
He is
right.
bringing the change.
Okay.
And people trust him. People trust him.
Okay, that's great, and I truly agree to that. But obviously, we have to bear witness to that before we say that we agree or we disagree as well. But we hope that everything goes in the right direction in the finest of the ways as well. But before we wrap it up. Mike, how was your experience being over here in Pakistan? Was it very pleasant? Would you like to come back over and over again and be on the show again too as well?
Yeah, I think if it was easier to get a visa,
Yeah.
would be one thing that would help out. But I think there's a lot of planning currently that has to go to actually make trips repeatedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm already planning on coming back.
And which cuisine have you tried so far? Don't say biryani.
What's that?
But which cuisine have you tried so far?
Well, everything I can in Pakistani
Oh,
food.
that's
Yeah.
great. Thank you very much for joining us. It was
Thank you
great
so
to have
much.
you guys, and we wish you best of luck. And we hope and we pray that whatever we said today, we will be able to achieve that in the next 5 years. Within,
Inshallah.
I think 1 or 2 years, that is possible if we space up as well. And ladies and gentlemen, for everybody who's out there, I think Mike very correctly said that, it's not just about people who come to Pakistan. It should actually be from within Pakistan too as well. And that's how prosperity will be our virtue.
And it's great that actually we're trying to provide a platform to people coming from different dimensions and capacities. They come, sit together, discuss and point out the flaws and loopholes in these systems, and then formulate ways to get out of that, which is great, right?
Exactly, that's what it is. So ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
On Twitter.
Well This Morning without a G.
On Daily Motion and YouTube.
Well This Morning.
And the fabulous repeat's going to be at
11:05 in the night.
till the next time, 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Thank you.